Madras, John Madden in Acapulco, Mexico. You can see I've got my Mexican hat on. That's the Mexican flag there. And I'm wearing my hat because I'm going to step out into the sun here. Uh, I have been living in this tiny house in Acapulco, Mexico for about 2.5 months, something like that. And Acapulco is an interesting place for dogs. In this little pueblo, it looks to me like 80 to 90% of the dogs run free at all times. They cross Main Street in all kinds of random ways. Main Street traffic is slow overall. There are a couple of big bumps. In Mexico, there's not a stoplight anywhere in Acapulco, as in so many Mexican towns. But there are speed control devices, traffic calming, big, serious bumps that you have to slow down for. And it doesn't go anywhere. Main Street in Acapulco only goes back into the jungle. So there's not a lot of traffic. It's mostly people who are going specifically to the monkey sanctuary in the jungle, or some big trucks that are still working on the Maya train. Not on the train so much, but the highway that runs next to it. But people driving through Acapulco know that there's going to be dogs crossing the street. There's going to be dogs sleeping next to the curb, and you have to watch out. So I think they very seldom get hit, and they're smart. I love to watch them, the way they know how to avoid scooters and cars and trucks. I'm a lover of dogs and have been a professional dog sitter, volunteer dog walker, where I took all kinds of dogs from the Humane Society for walks, and a thinker about dogs. Several of my dogs have turned out to be world-class dogs. One of them showed up that way. A pup, 1-year-old pup that I found abandoned in the swamps north of New Orleans, was very large percentage Basenji, Basenji, a breed where if Magic had been full bred, she'd have been a $7,000 dog. And I think the reason she got abandoned was that the Yahoo up there in the swamps saw that she was a great runner, great tracker, but when she got the bear to run up the tree, she wouldn't bark at it. She wouldn't keep it treed. She said, "Okay, what now? Give me another mission, boss." So he dumped her in the swamp. She was a great dog, devoted to me. And like most of my dogs, almost never on a leash. Back in Asheville, North Carolina, where I lived from 2004 to 2020, my dog Poncho there would drag her leash because Asheville, like so many cities in the U.S., even though it's a very dog-friendly town where it's perfectly appropriate to bring your dog to your shop with you, serious leash laws. Dogs supposed to be on a leash. And in general, country dogs have a dramatically better life than city dogs because lots of city dogs. Asheville had a lot of residents who were really devoted to the mountains and to the outdoor life and would frequently take their dog to mountain trails. But if they weren't doing that, that dog spent their entire life on a leash, which is totally abnormal, inappropriate, I think unacceptable. Pancho would drag her leash, and when someone would say, "That dog needs to be on a leash," I'd say, "She is." They'd say, "You're supposed to be holding it." "Yeah, do you see some reason why that's important? Is she doing anything that would say to you that she needs to have me hold her leash? It's the law." And I had about a dozen variations of "bite me." In the country, most dogs have a good life, a wonderful life, but some hunting dogs would spend their entire life chained to their doghouse and only get free in hunting season. Pitiful, terrible. I traveled for 4 years. When the COVID hit Asheville, I left Asheville, North Carolina, went to the high mountains for a year, and then traveled through the Southwest and the last 2 years in Mexico. In Brownsville, Texas, where I spent 9 months along the Rio Grande Valley and the Mexican border there, I frequently parked my camper van behind an OXXO store, enough outside of the downtown of Brownsville that it was kind of country around there. I parked on a big hill where I was all alone. And maybe 100 yards away, in the backyard of a junkyard, there was a dog that was permanently chained to his doghouse. What got me going is the dog yelping over there. On this block, the 10 or so dogs who live here, only one of them is ever on a leash, and I think that's the dog that's barking. That sounds like the plaintive cries of a dog that's tied up. Well, that dog in Brownsville, it was the hottest summer on record, and now the last one was hotter still, and you know what's going on there. And there was no shade. It was out in the middle of the field. The only shade that dog had was in his doghouse, which would get hot. And I felt so badly for that dog. And one day, my dog Magic, who loved all dogs, decided to go over and make friends. And I had fears about that because the classic junkyard dog, and even if a dog doesn't start mean, living a life like that can turn him bad. But he wasn't. He was a sweet dog. He rolled over, he played with Magic. And I wanted so bad to set that dog free. So bad. Under cover of darkness. I thought, Texas, that's his property, his possession. If he shoots me, no one's going to prosecute him in Texas. So I thought better of it. Yeah. But that dog still haunts me.